Hi everybody, it's Judy and Thane here. So I kind of wanted to show you a little bit about what Thane's doing. So here's a disconnect, and this one's already in there and it's working. And Thane had troubleshot it yesterday and got it working. This next one, I'm gonna show you, and that one he pulled out, so it's safe to work on. Okay, so here we go.
So with this bigger unit, this is for the upstairs. And so I got it disconnected. I was looking at it yesterday, tearing it apart when we first got into town. Like Judy mentioned, I got the other one working. It seemed to just need a little booster, what do they call them, a compressor saver or something like, or compressor saver. And so we had a right size one come in yesterday. I hooked it up. It's a real simple hookup. I probably should have showed it yesterday, but it basically plugs into the capacitor on the side unit here. Kind of looks like the capacitor, except it's got a little relay built into it that gives an extra boost of power. So the starter has, when the compressor is starting up, it's got an extra 300% or so more torque it gives it, so it can fire up and get going in case it's a little stiff and, you know, from wear and tear over the years. It doesn't give a whole lot more life, but enough to get you by maybe for a while, maybe quite a while if you're really lucky. So that first AC unit for the downstairs, we got it working like Judy was saying, and it was just a little cheap $15 booster to the compressor that got it going again. And this one I was tearing apart, figuring I need to do the same thing, which the second booster has not came in the mail yet. Might come this afternoon in the mail here, because we're at the Albuquerque house, by the way. We're just working on cleaning up a few things, and the air conditioner was another problem. Was late last summer, early fall, this big unit, the upstairs unit, had failed, and I never got a chance to really look at it and tear into it. But as I've found the capacitor is good, and I had a spare just in case. Same with the other unit, spare just in case. But the capacitors were good. So after checking that, because that's what fails most on air conditioning units, I dove into this to check and just do some resistance readings on the compressor's electrical connections to see if maybe it's dead, the compressor, which that's a $300 to $500 part to order. And then of course there's a bit of labor involved in changing those out, which I don't have the tools for doing that. And you basically need a way to recapture the refrigerant, and you need like an acetylene torch, whatever, to disconnect and heat up and disconnect the copper tubings and stuff inside of here, which I could probably invest in one from Harbor Freight, one of their cheap units, for a few $100. But for such a small job like this, it's probably better to not invest and just hire the guy that's got it and pay for his labor and trip charge, which shouldn't be too bad if you get the part, a refurbished part yourself. Sometimes they mark the compressor prices up considerably, so it's better to shop around, get your matching identical compressor first if you're going to swap it out. But I got kind of lucky. As I was tearing this apart yesterday, I found that one of the wires, and Judy can show you up close here, had actually, you can see the burn marks and stuff too. It actually fried off. I'm not sure how it shorted, where, how, whatever. But anyway, I restripped it, and then of course while I was moving the wires around inside here, another wire came off. So I'm just trying to get them ready to reconnect, and they use these little parts to crimp on here, and then they slide over inside of here, and I'll show where they hook up to so you can see inside this unit. Here's the compressor itself. The one wire that's still connected to these little 3 connectors down here. I think you can see them good now. The other 2 that are exposed there, that's what we'll be connecting these 2 wires up to. The black wire goes up to the top unit. I was able to photograph that before the black wire fell off. It was still loosely connected. Yellow wire seems pretty well connected, feels firm. So I'll go ahead and finish getting these connected up, get the little connectors on the 2 wires here, get it crimped down real good. And I already double checked that these blue ones fit just right. They have a nice snug connection when you push them on pretty hard. And we'll go from there. Hopefully this will work right. If it doesn't, then it means I need to get a multimeter working. The multimeter I brought with me for testing the ohms of resistance didn't work too well in the last one. The numbers just weren't behaving right. I thought my multimeter was acting up. It's possible something maybe got a little fried on it. Anyway, we went to Lowe's to pick up another little good quality multimeter, only to find out the battery that they include is dead in it. So I can't even do a second sanity check before hooking this up to make sure that the compressor is really good or not. It probably is, but anyway, I'll turn this back to Judy and I'll finish crimping where it won't fall. Actually, the way to do it would be out here. That way it falls to the ground where I can reach it easy. Come on. As soon as I touched it, it started shifting. It's almost like you want to solder these on first, which I do not have my soldering tools with me. But in theory, the crimper should work good enough. Crimp again. Make sure it's on good. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
So we got these crimped on now. They're on here pretty good. I don't think they'll pop off. Like I said, I'd rather solder them like first on here then crimp. But anyway, now it's just a matter of sliding onto the right pin and powering this thing back up. Well, put the fan back in place and all that. Then power it back up and see if we get some AC inside the house upstairs and see if it's working. Then after that, we probably need to return that bad multimeter to Lowe's and see about getting a new one, a different one. Test it before we leave the parking lot, make sure it really works and powers up. I think all they did with Lowe's was give us one with a dead battery. It says included battery, but you never know just how good of a battery it is. Apparently we get a bad one. Anyway, I got to use a mirror to help guide me. You know, it's just one of the ways they design these things. It's just really hard to work in them upside down, trying to reconnect wires and stuff. So here goes nothing. The black one goes on top.
Yeah.
Come on, Kelly. Okay. Got a good connection finally. It's plugged in.
Awesome.
Now to get the lower one connected.
Okay.
Finally. Okay. Now, of course, what I'm not too sure about is bending this and hopefully not breaking So what you're trying to do is, I got the connectors plugged in now. They're nice and snug and fit, but the wires want to go straight out, and that means if you try bending them, I'm afraid I might just snap the connectors loose or something, the wires from the connectors. So problem is this lid is supposed to go over it, so that if you have a dark, stormy, hot night and it's raining, and as the water comes through the fan here, could drop down there and short out, you know, the water hitting the thing. So you really want to cover it. So I'm not going to put the cover all the way back in. I'm just going to hang it above here so that the water at least would hopefully not go straight on in. But this way I don't have to like bend the wires much at all either. Is what I'm hoping. No. Yeah, this cover's not going to work at all.
Oh, shoot.
I'll jury rig something else up to cover and protect from the rain. Right now it's not a huge problem. I don't foresee any rain in the near future here, but certainly by the time the monsoon season comes, it could be an issue.
Okay.
So,
you go ahead and hit the fan back up.
Reconnect everything and fire back up.
All right.
See what we get.
Perfect.
I'm going to ask the booger to deal with big heavy fan.
Okay, so it's Judy here again, and Thane just finished getting everything hooked up, and now he's getting into his phone to get the app. Now he's plugging in the
power.
Yep, to get power. All right, let's see.
Okay, let's turn the AC on.
Yep.
71 upstairs. Let's see if it'll go down to 68.
Upstairs, and oh my gosh, I feel cold. So here I am, and it's coming on me, and it's like, he did it. He fixed it. Woohoo! Go.
Okay, so this may have done it, but the real test is watching the app. You know, I have a thermometer in the truck I can probably get and actually see if it's pretty chilled air coming through or not from a register. But one thing we did when we tested the other one last night was we just let it run for a little while and see if the room does start where the Nest thermostat is at. See if that thermostat starts registering a lower temperature. Judy felt like colder air coming through, so that's a real good sign. But the real sign is, does this temperature on this Nest app, let me just get it bright enough where the camera can see it. So right now the upstairs was 71 and I set it for 68, so we'll see if it starts coming down or not. That's the real test.
Okay.
If it's really cool in the upstairs.
Okay. Okay, am I holding that?
No, I'm holding it just a second. So we're in front of the B Street Market now and on the outside, so you can kind of see it behind me here on Main Street. Yeah, it's right across from post office back here. I think that's it behind me. And I just wanted to flip over and show you One of our things available is the green chili chicken enchiladas here, and a little green chili smattered across the fried potatoes and stuff. Sometimes there's other veggies, just varies. But yeah, I think this serving is about a $12 size, so that's enough for Judy and I to share one of these. We got a couple of them this time, so we can have another one later in the week. Anyway, this is Main Street, Mountain Air. Looking south there, now we're looking north. A lot of things on Saturday are closed and stuff, so you're not going to see a lot on a weekday, but it is a little more hustly on a weekday. Normally, people are coming into town for all kinds of things. B Street Market, Mountain Air. I don't think we've given our viewers a little...
Yeah, it's a cute little store. She's got a lot of really great things here.
The things I like are right behind me here.
Sorry.
In the cheese section. You get 2 types of Gruyere cheese, which it's hard enough finding Gruyere at a big market in the city, let alone 2 types in this little market out in the country, which is kind of neat. Gruyere and smoked Gruyere. And a whole selection of other kinds of little cheeses to your liking. And I love cheese. I'm just addicted to it, but I've been a little more careful in my older, mature years these days, but still, I have to have some once in a while.
Yeah.
And what are some of the things you really like here? The owner, Nancy.
She cooks up 100 squash, and she puts it in little containers, and I buy that, and I use it for breakfast. And I mix it with cinnamon and cloves, and to me, my tummy loves it. So that's one of the things. And she has her eggs from her farm, and it's crazy because if I buy eggs, any other eggs,
Commercial eggs.
Yep, I get a pain. I get chopped gas. I mean, it's awful. They don't agree with me. So
hers work well.
Hers work well. Yeah, I can digest those without any problems. So yeah, it's awesome.
And real quick, we've also got a nice little international section here. Some of the Indian, other kind of varieties of food, Thai. We've also got a real nice little deli here with some sliced meats that you can get freshly sliced, and cheeses that are like right the same price as you get at a Walmart in the city. So,
but the best perk, is she makes these meals
on Friday nights,
they are
sometimes Saturday
so
nights.
Good. Like last night we had enchiladas. Oh my gosh, they're to die for. And then the other night, what were we eating? Something with pork chop and baked apple, and there was rice,
veggies,
and there was some veggies, zucchini. Oh, it was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good. So
Just
if
to
you're
die
driving
for.
through this little town, or you live in the little town, oh, it's to die for. Her food is so good.
Yeah, and when
you'll
she
like
makes
it.
these little dinners, she tries to make them gluten-free. Not always, but a lot of them
But
are.
a lot of them are, which is
we're
a
thrilled
plus.
about that
Yeah,
for Judy.
it's exciting. So yeah.
So, well, anyway, that's a little intro to the B Street Market, right on B Street, and whatever the main street here is in town. So if you're coming through Mountain Air, check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for watching an episode of Nature Preserve Life in Mountain Air, New Mexico. If you'd like to follow along and support our channel, please press the subscribe button and gong that bell to be notified. After all, it's free. Free is a very good price. In the future, we'll plan to focus our episodes on our eco-friendly build of earthen construction and dark night astronomy, that big guy there, and tourism of the regional area, as well as establishing a Patreon account for the sole support of wildlife in Deer Canyon Preserve. So stay tuned. Cheers.